Hello, my name is Michael Hennessy. In this series of videos, Shay Phelan, Kieran Collins and I will visit farmers who are working with the Enable Conservation Tillage project over the last 5 years. We will visit these farms throughout the year to see how they're getting on using their establishment system, but also to see how they're controlling grass weeds in these systems, of which some of the weeds are problematic on many of the farms.
We're here in County Louth today, John. So we're out with Gareth Culligan. Gareth's a client of yours. What's the story with Gareth?
Yeah, so Gareth is a founding member of Base Ireland, and Base Ireland are part of the steering group for the ECT project. Gareth's been maintaining here since 2002, and probably in the latter few years has progressed to no-till.
And he's doing a lot of work here in his own trials as well, and looking at different systems and rotations and things like that on his farm.
He is, yeah. It's very interesting some of what he's doing. Like, I mean, with his own trials, like you say, I suppose he's trying out a few new things, maybe with different mixes and maybe doing different things with chemistry as well, just to see what he can get around.
You might just explain your system here to us. You're not ploughing, you're on a min-till type system?
Yeah, it started out, we started min-tilling here in 2001, so we spent from 2001 till 2005, or to 8, and then we started direct drill. Between 2008 and 15, we sort of started to look at soil health and cover crops and rotation on the farm, more conservation ag principles on the farm. And then in 2015, we moved to no-till. And there was a lot of mistakes made at the start, but when we moved to the conservation ag principles, sort of, we learned a lot more about what and how to get the system to work for us.
Yeah, and I suppose the thing about it is, were you moving to direct drilling to disturb less soil because you were seeing more problems on the farm, or and soil health as well, I suppose?
I can't say it was all just, it wasn't the min-till that was causing the problems, it was the bad rotation on the farm, right, okay. Soil health not up to where it should be. Yeah. We had a lot of weed brome, sterile brome on the farm at the time, and again, look at growing 3 crops of winter barley wasn't helping things in a row. So we learned a lot from that. Yeah,
and I suppose what people were looking at was more reliance on herbicides, and you're tending to move away from that, looking more cultural control.
We were learning as we were going on, and what weeds, as we changed systems on the farm, from min-till to direct drill to no-till, we had different weed problems. Yeah. We had less sterile brome and more willow herbs and rat's tail fescue now on the farm, so it's there now. But
and I suppose if you go back to when you started in the project, bromes were probably the main concern at the time, were they? Wild oats maybe?
Wild oats wasn't too bad. Right, okay. We got on top of that. Brome was the main one. We're living with brome now, I can say. That's on the fact. It's there, it's never going to go away. We're never going to wipe it out completely. If
I remember rightly, I remember you saying before it was that continuous barley was the issue.
That was the problem, yeah. Now we're growing beans, rape and oats in the rotation now, and spring crops as well, and you know that's sort of getting on top of it now. Again, like, you've moved away from a lot of pre-emerge sprays on the farm. I know it puts a bit of pressure on your spring herbicides, but when you're not moving the clay as much and a good rotation, you can do without them.
So Gareth, the fields here behind us around the yard here are the fields you've been doing most of your work in terms of looking at different systems and looking at different trials to try and control your grasses. What have you been doing in the fields? Is it kind of all rotations, or what are you trying to do?
I've gone away from growing 2 cereals in a row. Okay. And it's hard to do that because your best margin is on wheat.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's hard to go into beans or rape. The other thing too is companion crops, and again, and cover crops, and to tie them into the rotation, and it has helped an awful lot. I think that field is probably 4 years now without 5 years without a pre-emerge spray. Right, okay. So the wheat, like, even there was wheat there 1 year and we didn't have to put Pacific on it after oilseed rape.
Yeah, and I suppose it's one of the things that you probably are doing that's kind of a lot of people are looking at now, is you're trying to keep something on your crops or on your soil all the time to protect your soil.
Yeah, and it does help with the weeds, the weed boarding, you know. Last year we had the same mix with the sunflowers and rape and beans and peas, and we actually grazed with sheep.
Right.
And we had to go in with more. It left it open. Would I do it again, grazing with sheep? I don't think so, maybe for the weed pressure.
Yeah.
You know, if you were in a brome situation, you just allowing it to come back up.
In terms of being involved in the project, was there a couple of things that you would have learned from the project?
Yeah, probably weed identification really was a big thing for me. Like, again, different types of brome, you know, like rat tail fescue, and we have now, and look at even the other thing, awareness of blackgrass, you know, and we're lucky we don't have blackgrass here on the farm yet.
One of the things I was just wondering, Gareth, in terms of you're doing a lot of work here on your farm, trying different things, has the project helped you to refine that anyway, or has it helped you in any way to kind of maybe look at the things different, or maybe identify the different weeds and the problems with them?
As I said, we mentioned before, the weed identification, like, you know, more awareness of it, and, you know, when you get a group of farmers in the field talking, it's a great, you know, like, there's so much knowledge there. I think when you have experts and farmers working together, that's
peer-to-peer learning is key.
That's vital.
The system here, Gareth, are you likely to change in the future, or are you likely to refine it or anything, do you think?
I don't think it'll change the system, but like, look, it's still not perfect. I still have the flexibility. I'm in between sort of organic and conventional farming, so.
I'm up here in County Louth again today. It's another showery day, so I'm going to take this opportunity when there's a break in the harvest to come up here and talk to Gareth Culligan and see how he's got on this year. We also want to have a look at the focus validation area and look back at the history and see what has happened or what Gareth has done over the period of the project in the focus validation area, and see how the measures we put in place have worked and if there are any issues that have arisen in the meantime. So it should make for a very interesting discussion with Gareth over the next few minutes.
On each farm, the ECT project selected a field with a high weed burden to monitor management practice. The ECT project staff used a grid methodology to count weeds each year before harvest. The results reflected how successful or not the weed control measures worked. On the map, squares coloured blue or green have a low weed population, and squares coloured orange or red have a high weed population.
If we start back in 2019, as you said, you started off with winter barley, right? So we did a weed count here, and basically it's no news to yourself. Most of your sterile brome was down in the bottom of this field and the bottom of the other field there. So that's where your problems are, I suppose, that's where the challenge is, I'd say, what the problems. And the same with wild oats. If we look at wild oats here, two fields generally clean, but just coming out from the
ditches,
and I suppose that's where we kind of have to be careful, I suppose, isn't it? So then in 2020, winter oilseed rape.
Yeah, we had a companion crop of winter rape there. I think it was beans, peas, clover, facility in with it, and look, we winter rape here and spring rape out there. We min-tilled the spring rape, and this was direct drilled, so it was a tough year to get oilseed rape in. And then the next year was winter wheat after that then, so.
Yeah, and if you look at this in 2020, I mean, you were pre-harvest or pre-planting glyphosate.
Yes.
And you got a graminicide, and then you got astrocarb. So you had a broad number of herbicides to control the grass weeds. And you can see here by the results here, great control.
Yeah, great
control. No sterile brome or wild oats in the crop.
Yeah. The other thing with that, we were shown the ground was covered completely with the clovers and the vacilla. And they were acting as they were covered in the ground. Like when we, the previous year and after that, we'd volunteer rape, and then the clover, white clover was still there.
Right.
And I actually sowed the summer cover crop then after that, and it kept the ground covered.
Yes. So it's competition for the grass.
Competition for
exactly. Same as some of the farms have grass margins on them. It's creating the same sort of it's competition for the grass weed. Okay, so then in 2021, winter wheat. So we two fields here, two different strategies.
Yeah.
Got pre-planting glyphosate. No pre-emerge. You don't generally tend to use pre-emerge here. So
I won't use a pre-emerge after a break crop of beans or rape. Now maybe this year we'll have winter barley after winter wheat. I am going to put a pre-emerge on it there just.
Okay. So in the two fields here, you have two different strategies, if you like. You Pacifica on one field, and you were kind of humming and hawing whether you use Pacifica on the other one.
Yeah, I didn't. so you can see it there.
You can see it here. This field here.
This one did get the Pacifica.
So
the next one.
The field one beside us didn't get it, and we can see here there is the threat is there.
The threat is there. Yeah.
And whereas if we look at the other one, the other field here,
clean as a whistle. Yeah. Now we were lucky enough. We were going it was going into a break crop again, so we were getting to clean it up
Yes.
easy enough after that. But
Exactly.
if you were going through cereals there now, you'd be putting yourself under a lot of pressure.
Under pressure.
Yeah, yeah.
Then again, last year, as you're saying, you were going into a break crop. Again, you had a cover crop, summer cover crop over it.
Yeah.
Then creating that competition. With the grass weed, pre-drilling glyphosate, and you use, which is a one you use quite often, is you put oats into the
beans.
Into the beans.
Yes. As a it's do that nearly every year with beans, so it's working. It's the oats are smothering out all the broadleaf weeds or keeping them at the bay.
Yeah.
So you will have
that allelopathic effect you're getting.
Yes. Yeah, and you take out the graminicide, then takes out the oats.
And that's what we're seeing here on this map here. That the graminicide is taking care of all your
grass weeds then. Yeah.
So you're actually killing them out. The one exception is the rat-tailed fescue, which is somewhere kind
of we're
getting a bit worried about, but we can deal with that. The other thing I should mention too is that you've done herbicide testing on the grass weeds.
Yeah.
So
we're lucky so far.
Important.
Yeah.
There was winter barley here in the year gone out, and just looking around, we don't see any bromes here. So again, what did you do before the barley?
It got Axial Pro and Sterile.
And before the barley, before you drilled it?
Summer cover crop and summer cover crop, and then it got no pre-emerge, just Roundup.
And it got glyphosate.
Glyphosate then pre, yeah.
And by the looks of it here, there's very little, if any, I can't see any of stuff going around here.
No, this got glyphosate before we drilled the cover crop too. It wouldn't get pre-harvest, so.
Right, okay.
Get one go.
So there's a cover crop in here now, which is going to do the same role for next year.
For next year, for the spring oats. So we'll see.
Okay, we'll see how that
comes out then, yeah.
If I was starting, or a young farmer was starting to go down the route of where you are now, is there any advice you would give to them? Or?
God, where would you start? Look, the last thing is buy the drill. As I say, walk backwards from that, get your soil health right, your lime, your magnesium and your calcium right in the soil, get your soil structure right. Even there's nothing wrong with ploughing. Get the fields ploughed, get them levelled, ready for min-till. Then start to, reduce the tillage slowly over the years. Get cover crops, get your manure, organic matter levels up, and it's basic stuff.
And a huge thanks to all the farmers for the benefit of their experience over the last 5 years. To find out more about each farmers, website, Teagasc ECT